My name is Mike Blecha, and my business is Anywhere.Cam, and the website Anywhere.Cam. Well, I know nothing about e-commerce or product or anything. It's a very new world for me to be living in, of product development and sales and online sales, as well as social media promotion and marketing. I came to Shop Innovator to help me navigate an environment that I was very unknowledgeable in, and create a website that, for the long term, that had the ability to scale, was functional, and could grow with me as the company grew, so that we didn't hit a roadblock as when sales got bigger or the company grew. I don't want to hit a roadblock and have to start over. So that's why I decided to have Shop Innovator help me develop the website, as opposed to more of a do-it-yourself approach. I wanted it done right, not done quick. I heard about Shop Innovator through a business associate that I'd known in the advertising world for many years. She pointed me to Shop Innovator and said that they were a better fit for this complex project. And she said, "I have the perfect fit for you." It's it's this great company that I've worked with, and they're exactly what you need. I didn't have a lot of expectations. I didn't know how complex this whole e-commerce thing could be. I knew I was selling product, but it's more than just an A to Z solution. It's like, oh, we have all these things in between that you can't just put a picture and a price on a website and a credit card reader or whatever. Like, you have to have all these variables and all these scenarios thought out, because hopefully we're going to get thousands to millions of people viewing this website, and we need to make sure that it makes sense and is a correct solution, so when tons of orders start coming in, it doesn't sink the ship. I would not have known what to do. I looked into it. I could hired somebody to put up a website, build it on Shopify, and it would have been fine. Was I selling a couple cameras a day, maybe a couple dozen a week? We could have figured it out, but I'm trying to build this into something that's selling hundreds to thousands a week, and without the oversight of Shop Innovator and all the tools that they have to make it right for the long game. That's what this is all about, is the long-term vision of this company, and making sure that months, years down the road, when hopefully this is a very successful, high volume business, that it's the money and time that we put in at the beginning saves us time, therefore money, and makes us more money in the future. And that's the reason I think I'm very happy I did it. Yeah. It wasn't so much that I needed somebody to build a website. I needed somebody that knew what not to do, or what to do and what not to do, so that I guess there's a foundational expense. Like, the foundation, if you build it that bad, then the house is going to fall down. And so you guys were a foundation, because you guys, it's a kind of a consultant type of thing. You guys have probably done everything once, and you know what not to do again. If I would have tried to do this myself, yeah, I'm pretty confident I would have figured something out. I doubt it would have been anywhere near the quality and functionality that we have now, that I've seen a fairly finished product. But my time and my I guess effort is limited. Everybody's time is limited, and so it was either me stop everything I'm doing on product development, sales, the administration side and back end of that company, or my other company. I already had a fairly successful company that I would have had to completely stop focusing on and put all of my efforts and time towards building this website. And so I just had to, it was a comparison, where it was like, do I invest the money into having somebody else or Shop Innovator make the website for me, and then I can still focus on my normal duties and activities, or do I stop all of this or find somebody to cover all of this so that I can focus all my efforts on the website building, which I know nothing about. So it didn't make sense to do that. It made sense to be like, okay, I can still keep doing what I'm doing over here 90% and then focus 10% on here and let Shop Innovator do most of this work. And still, because I know over here I know what I can do and I know I'm successful at it. I don't know that over here. So it was just like, anything else, I could probably figure out how to, fix my car if I absolutely had to, but how long would it take? Would I do it correctly? How much would it end up costing in incorrect solutions and then having to fix what I've broken more? And that was exactly with the website. Like, I just had to make the decision of where do I spend my time, money, and effort, and that was on my existing business and my existing development of the new business, and let Shop Innovator take the lead on the e-commerce site, which I know nothing about. I have more expectations now that I've seen the product, and I've ran through all these scenarios and crap, what are we going to do if this happens? Or even just today when we realized, how can we improve this? So it's definitely been a team effort, but I would have not even known where to go without you guys. And I think that probably the hardest part for a potential new client is to take that leap of faith, because like I said from the beginning, I didn't know that I needed all this. So it's really hard to know, it's really hard to take that leap and commit to the investment if you don't really know what you're trying to accomplish. All I knew is I needed a website. Could I build a website myself? Yes. But now that I've seen a finished product, I could not have done that. And so I'm sure that's just the hardest part for somebody, is to make the investment and the leap of faith without a vision of the finish line. It's kind of tough, but I did it, and I'm glad I did it. I think it was just that you were a human and a real person. Many years ago, I hired a online marketing agency. There wasn't a lot of honest thought and effort put into my company. All they cared about was what was signed on the dotted line. Well, they agreed to do this for X amount of dollars. And as long as they did that, good enough to get me to not be upset, I would, then they could charge me more money. And I felt a lot different with you guys. Like, you honestly cared about the product, the dream, the vision. And it was more than just, how do we get a website launched so that we can, invoice him? It wasn't that at all. I just felt that every time we met, every 2 weeks, I didn't know what you guys would be doing because I didn't know what it took. And then you'd be like, voila, and I'm like, oh crap, that probably took a lot of time. And so it was just nice to have somebody that I felt was just as invested to my product as like my employees are. And I don't have employees that I don't have a good feeling about. I just don't want those people working with me. And I had the same feeling with you guys. Just a lot of trust, I guess. Felt good about it. You can do it yourself, but I don't think that you'd ever be, if you really have a big dream and a big vision, you're going to have other people on your team. And that you guys are who I would recommend to have on their team. Like, they can't do it all themselves. They've got to trust somebody, and that you guys are the right people to trust. Because I'd already put years and lots of money into this product, and this was kind of like me, hopefully like the final big hurdle before we can launch, before we start actually seeing return of investment. And it was the one thing I didn't feel like I could do myself. I'd done tons of product development myself, but I was coming to just a roadblock where I'm like, I don't know how to do all this stuff properly. So it did take a lot of trust to be able to say, here's my baby, help it grow into a child. Like, it's scary, but it was better than, I just felt like if I tried to do it all myself, I would have just got super frustrated, and I would have been so close to that finish line, and I just couldn't get that last, final mile. And I didn't want that to be what tanked this dream I had in this years, and my family putting up with cameras being all over the house and testing and this and that as I was first starting out, and this obsession I'd had for years, which my kids think is weird because they're like, why do you always want to have cameras? That's creepy, Dad. I'm like, well, it's not, it's a peace of mind. And I travel, because I traveled a lot. I was like, it's a comfort thing to be able to pull up a camera and be like, oh, everything's okay. And so I had a personal goal, because it would make me feel better. And so therefore it's going to make everyone feel better that has this product. It is a lot like, I just had this baby, it's a toddler, and I need to send it off to boarding school. And like, what boarding school do you trust with your child? And that was that was the hardest part, but I mean, you guys definitely feel the right fit. It represented my product well, but it also had high quality functionality. I think I could have represented my product well by just dealing, having certain graphics made, or but the functionality part is something that you guys brought a lot of expertise. You understood problems that people would have going to a website. You would understand what would or wouldn't work, potential issues we would run into, and that's what really, I think, the best result was that you just brought a ton of expertise. You took my vision and you made it a workable product, a workable website that will get people to buy my product. And that's really what I want. And has, I feel, exponential growth potential. The overall value, of this business is high, because if I want to sell this business, I don't want to be like, all right, now I need to train you and your staff for a month, because this is a complete nightmare to try to manage when you have a lot of orders coming in. So I feel it was represented my product, my vision, my dream, and in a practical website. Yeah, but now is just getting the word out. Now is the promotion and the marketing, and that's kind of the exciting part for me, because now we get to go show our product off to the world and hopefully get a lot of positive reviews. And then also the other challenge that I'm looking forward to is the constant content and constant, probably more on the social media side of marketing that we get to do. And that's what I enjoy. Now I'm like, all right, how can we show off this awesome website to all these people, which is, I assume, going to directly reflect in sales and the growth of this company. And I really feel strongly about my product. So I hope we get a lot of 5-star reviews, and people have a lot of great feedback and use case stories. And I'm just excited to see this thing grow. Like, now it's kind of like a teenager, where I'm like, it has a mind of its own, and now we just need to see where it can go. We kind of like let it do its thing and just support it. I'm glad that I had some support, because I would have a really crappy website out right now if I did not. And I would not. And then this excitement I have to show it off would be hindered by the lack of quality of the website. I spent years perfecting the quality of the product, and it would really suck to not have a equally exciting website to show off that great product. It would just really bum me out. So I'm glad that we have it just looks really good. You understand what people need you to help them with, and you're able to do that.